Greetings artists! Today we are going to start working on adding paint layers to our Roy Lichtenstein inspired pop art onomatopoeia. Previously we glued our magazine page to a background sheet and we drew out our design. Now today we're going to use the three primary colors to begin adding paint. You might not be able to get this all done at one time. In fact, I would highly recommend just doing one color right now, letting that dry, and then coming back to do the other colors. I'm going to start in my background, which I consider my border to be my base layer, because everything else to me looks like it's on top of that background. So that's where I'm going to start. So for this project, part of the project, you will need your previously drawn design. You really just need three primary colors, and if you're going to do one color at a time, you just need one color right now. You'll notice I have all the colors on my palette because I was working on a previous project before this, and there's no sense in getting a new palette. I'll just continue using the paint I already have out. I do also have a wash bucket and a paper towel. If you are going to switch colors, you will need to make sure that you scrub your brush really well in the bottom of your bucket in between colors, and then you come over and you dry your brush incredibly well on your paper towel before you move on. You don't want to get water, especially dirty water, into this tempera paint, because that will just water it down further or make it muddy. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started. For my border on this project, I'm going to use blue. So I'm just going to start up at the top, and I'm just going to gently pull my brush across my paper and start painting inside my border. Now a couple things. If I get outside of the border line, it's not a big deal. I can always spend some time once my project is completely dry. I can go back and retrace or outline things using my Sharpie. So if I make an oops, I can go back and fix that. Now you will notice as I start to paint, even though this is tempera paint and technically speaking it should be opaque or solid, not see-through, it is actually see-through because this is school grade washable tempera, so it's a little thinner and we can see through it to the magazine page. I'm totally cool with that. I actually think that that's part of what makes this project look super neat, is that you can kind of see through the paint and see the wording, the lettering, or even the pictures that were under that to begin with. So I'm just going to carefully move around, painting my border to start. I'm going to try and make sure I go around all the details. If I have pieces of my actual design that overlap my border, I'm going to make sure I actually paint around that and not over it. But like I pointed out the first day, if I make an oops, I can paint right over it. And unless you get right on top of your project, you can't really see that oops later once the paint dries. Even though the paint is on the thin side and kind of see-through, it covers it well enough that no one will know if you accidentally make an oops. Alright, so you are just gently painting, getting that whole border filled in. And then that might be all the time you have today. I am going to just do the rest of my border super quick, so I don't want you to spend lots of time watching me. I want you to spend more time working on your own project. I'm going to move up here so I can pull my brush, and then I will wait and I will show you the rest of the details, the lettering and the designs tomorrow, because for today I would like for you to just focus on your border and getting that painted in nice and neatly. Now, if you get that done and your border paint dries pretty quick and you would like to move on to the next steps, you are more than welcome. You do not have to wait until tomorrow to continue painting. I just wouldn't recommend painting your next step while this border paint is still wet, because if you accidentally overlap it with your new wet paint, they will mix together and they will form a secondary color, and for this project we are just wanting to focus on the primaries. So there we go. For today, I just gently pulled my brush, I painted in that entire border. I'm going to make sure I wash my brush really well and dry it if I'm going to switch colors, and other than that, I will see you again tomorrow. Happy creating!